Now, our reporter Fernande van Tets is standing by for us live in Amsterdam with the latest. So, Fernande, people thought the curfew was going to be lifted tonight, but that has now been changed again. So, are people abiding by the curfew that's back in effect?
So it's been pretty quiet in the streets. Here in Amsterdam, there was a group of young people who were trying to get a party started around 8:30, just before that curfew ruling came through. Then police descended and they quickly cleared out. In Rotterdam, another big city, streets are quiet, but the police say they're ready. And around the country, more police have been deployed than usual, and so they're ready for anything. Because this morning, when that ruling came through, that this emergency law that was used to impose the curfew, that was not a correct legal basis, social media flooded with announcements of illegal parties. The plaintiff says they'll be partying in the street. Restaurants, which have been closed here for weeks, said they'd be opening again in celebration. So really, it didn't look like it would be going that way at all. But now the court has ruled that until that appeal case is heard on Friday morning, that it would cause more harm to lift it now and then possibly reinstate it on Friday. The so-called yo-yo effect, as the court called it, would be more harmful than keeping this curfew in place for another few days. Police will be enforcing the curfew in the next few days, but because of the confusion over what was going on today, the Prime Minister said they'll be a bit more lenient. They won't be handing out any fines, but they will be reminding people that the curfew is definitely still in place for now.
Right, but I mean, we've seen massive rioting and demonstrations against the curfew in recent weeks. Why is it so controversial in the Netherlands?
It took a really long time for them to come round to the idea of this curfew. I mean, it wasn't imposed during the first lockdown. MPs took ages to come round to it. Now, when it was announced on the 23rd of January, it was the first time since the Second World War that there was a curfew here. And I think it was also just the timing. The Netherlands was very slow in the rollout of vaccines. People were just feeling frustrated about the measures. And so this is, when the worst riots in 40 years broke out, but it was a bit of a combination of things. Also, conspiracy theories also going rampant here. Actually, the plaintiffs today in this court case to get the curfew thrown out, they're from a group called Virus Truth, which initially was called Virus Insanity. And they believe that, the COVID virus is nothing more than the flu. And so a lot of their supporters were also out in force during these riots. However, if you look at the population at large, polling shows that 75% of the population actually agrees with the curfew, and close to 95% of the country is actually abiding by it.
Fernande van Tets there live for us in Amsterdam. Thank you so much.